Interesting. So life is a lot like that. You have this ball that you're playing with, and you're going around and you're meeting people in your life, and you're giving them the opportunity to engage with you, but it doesn't mean that you need them. It doesn't mean you're desperate to have them engage with you. I want to talk to you about the idea of stop chasing a specific person, because the more you chase one person, the more you get nobody, all right? So Madison here, I'm here to help you with your social life. I'm hanging out in Medellin, Colombia, having a great time on my rooftop. It's a lot of fun. By the way, traveling internationally as a coach, what allows me to do this. If you want to learn more about how to do that, I recommend you check out my Influence Mastery program coming out very, very soon. I also got a whole bunch of tour dates happening across the globe. We'll put those up on the screen really quickly, and there's a link down below that you can check and see me face to face and work with me in any city that you are in around the world. So when it comes to not pushing people away, I'm going to give you the analogy of like a kid in the playground. Remember when you were younger, you were kind of like playing with a little ball, you were bouncing the ball around, and maybe nobody wants to play with you, and you pass the ball, and you're like, oh, okay, well, fun keeps going for me, I'm going to keep bouncing the ball. And then maybe you try somebody else, hey, do you want to play ball with me? And they're like, no. You're like, well, fun keeps going. And eventually somebody else comes and plays ball with you, and you're like, this is great, but it doesn't add or subtract from the fun you were having because you had this ball anyways, right? So life is a lot like that. You have this ball that you're playing with, and you're going around and you're meeting people in your life, and you're giving them the opportunity to engage with you, but it doesn't mean that you need them. It doesn't mean you're desperate to have them engage with you. You can kind of take it or leave it. That's the attitude you want to have when you're meeting people. The thing is, what we do is we have this high expectation of how good it has to be. You might sit down and watch 20 videos, 30 videos, try to come up with the exact particular line. I've done this, I've been there. And then I go try to do this line and I just stutter it because I've done so much theory in my mind, but not enough practice. And the idea is really getting out there and doing practice and lowering the bar on how good your social interactions have to be. Because you expect too much of yourself. Nobody is going to be perfect. You could even walk up to a stranger, say the perfect line to start a conversation, and then what happens is they don't like it for whatever odd reason, and they're like, man, get away. And then you are saying, I practice this, and you feel like it's you. But in reality, it's not always you. It's just what people are going through in their lives and what they're feeling at that moment, right? So you got to process that and understand that. Now I'm going to give you a little secret here, okay? High value people, they talk about anything. They're not like walking on eggshells trying to say the exact right thing. They're talking about anything that they want to say. And so it kind of comes out like sometimes they just don't care. You know, I'm not telling you to go around and fart in front of people, but if you're a high value person, that behavior of being high value means you talk about whatever you want. And you're comfortable just saying stuff. Some of it's going to be great and some of it's going to be mediocre, and that's totally fine. If you put yourself on this pressure of always saying the right thing that's a 10 out of 10, you end up saying nothing and it seems inauthentic and fake, like you have a lot to hide. So you got to lower the bar on how good that it is. In fact, here's a challenge for you. Try today to have a conversation, and somewhere in the conversation, just like be actively involved, but don't say very much. Be like, oh, that's cool, interesting, tell me about that. Or like, sure, if you want, right? Just be very quiet. Take a more passive role, but be actively engaged in your eye contact and your body language. Don't be just bored, like actively engaged in your eye contact and your body language, and you're having fun and enjoying it, okay? But just try that out and see what happens. Try that today. Even leave 10 seconds of silence in a conversation, where just for 10 seconds, you're just like, you say like something like, so what do you do in life? And they go, oh, well, I'm studying in school. You go, interesting. And the person will go, what? And it's like, well, that's just the high value trait of not feeling the need to always speak and fill in the silence. When people talk too much, it shows that they're afraid of losing people, and it actually pushes others away. And then if you want to take it one step further, the key to being high value, as it were, in your conversations is two main ingredients in this recipe. One is passionate. Talk about things that make you passionate. Don't hold back. You're into Pokemon, talk about it. You're into magic cards, talk about it. I don't even know what kids do these days. You're into Bitcoin, talk about it with passion. You know, talk about what you want to say. When is the last time you were in a conversation and you actually said what you wanted to say? Not what should I say? What do you want to say? If you're looking at this right now, you're talking to me, I'm like, oh, if you're here with me right now, hanging out with me and my friend in the back, what would you want to say? You have no idea what you'd say to me. You'd be like, I liked the video from a year ago. Like, what would you say? You're so used to not saying what you want to say, it's hard for you. So my recommendation is start thinking about saying what you want to say versus what you should say. What you should say will never work. The balance of that is you also want to have empathy. It's not just like walking up to people and being like, yeah, fuck Will Smith and blah, 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 and I hate the government and Republicans and Democrats, and you go on this long rant. It's not just about that. It's like have empathy to understand where they're coming from. If they're receiving the message, if they feel great, if they're happy, if their eyes are lighted up when you're talking to them, if they're like kind of just making excuses and looking on the cell phone. That's what it is basically, okay? So you got to find that balance of pure expression of passion and yet still having empathy for others. And so now that you know all this, when does the perfect approach start? Starts now. It's a good time like now to start that perfect approach. It's not tomorrow, it's now. And it starts as soon as you get up in the morning. It starts from when you get up and you say hello to the doorman. Hey man, how's your day going? You feeling pretty good? You all right? How's the family? Good, cool. You get in the bus, talk to the bus driver. Maybe he's in a bad mood. He doesn't answer you, but you're like, hey man, good to see you every day. Another Monday, another $1. He might be like, yeah. You're like, keep it positive, keep it moving, baby. And then you finally get to the school or you get to work. Maybe you have a conversation with somebody at lunch. You go out with them at lunch, and it's a new person. And then finally, at the end of the day, you're walking down the street. You're going back home. You're doing some groceries, and you reach for cantaloupes in the grocery aisle. And then your perfect dream partner is there reaching for cantaloupes as well. And you're all happy and having a great time. And you just flow into that because you've been walking around being that person all day. You don't wait for the perfect conversation to happen or the perfect approach to happen. You make it happen through how you live your day. You get to be that person by deserving it throughout your actions of the day, all right? Now, if you liked what I said, there's a lot of stuff you said. I like what I said too. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And again, my tour dates, boom, put a link for them down below. Click the links. I'm doing boot camps. It's live face-to-face interactions where I coach you over your shoulder in real time and make adjustments that you're missing out on. If it's something that's on your bucket list you always want to do, I recommend you do it now because if it's interesting to you, I'm not doing these forever, okay? This is my final world tour. And if you want to know more about not being needy, I got a video playlist for you right here. Click that up. And also some current trends and pop things that are happening. Check that out over here. All right, as always, keep in touch and watch some more. I'm going to see you in a bit. Cheers.